So what really drives addiction? It's a huge question, and a lot of the time we just focus on the final act, the destructive behavior itself. But today, we're going to go deeper. We're going to use Dr. Patrick Carnes' incredible book, Out of the Shadows, to explore the hidden system, the cycles, the beliefs, and the behaviors that are running the show long before things ever hit a breaking point.
This quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of the private torment, doesn't it? It's not just about lying to other people. It's about the lies you start telling yourself, the ones you have to work to believe. And according to the book, these internal crises, these incredibly lonely moments, are the real starting point for understanding how this all works.
So, that internal crisis, it doesn't stay internal forever. Eventually, it leads to an external one. The book calls this the breaking point. And it's a moment that, sooner or later, comes for every addict. When the consequences just get so big, so overwhelming, that they finally have to admit their life is completely out of control.
And this isn't always some big public scandal you see on the news. Sure, it could be a professional getting caught, but it could also be a quiet, devastating moment alone, realizing that stopping this is actually harder than quitting drinking. Either way, it's a breaking point. It's that forced collision with a reality you just can't deny anymore.
Okay, so what's the engine that's actually driving someone to that breaking point? The book is crystal clear on this. It's not a simple lack of willpower. It's a powerful, four-stage cycle that literally takes complete control.
Dr. Carnes breaks it down into 4 stages. First up, you have preoccupation. This is where the mind basically goes into a trance. It becomes completely obsessed with sex. Next is ritualization, where specific routines start to kick in, and they build up all that tension and excitement. That, of course, leads to the compulsive behavior itself. And what comes after? Inevitably, it's despair, that absolutely crushing feeling of hopelessness and powerlessness.
Now this diagram, this is where it all clicks into place. You see, that 4-step cycle doesn't just happen in a vacuum. It's part of a much bigger system that just keeps feeding itself. If you look at the top, it all kicks off with a faulty belief system. That leads to what's called impaired thinking, which then pulls the trigger on the addiction cycle we just talked about. And the fallout? The unmanageability of life? Well, that doesn't stop the system. It actually reinforces those original bad beliefs, and the whole thing starts all over again.
The book tells this story about a lawyer named Dell that just captures this perfectly. He has this terrifyingly close call with the police, and he is genuinely shaken up. He prays, he makes promises, he means it. And yet the very next day, he's pulled right back into the cycle. This isn't a story about a bad person. It's a story about the absolute powerlessness you feel in that despair phase, where the system's momentum is just stronger than even the most sincere desire to change.
To really, truly understand that cycle, we have to look at what's fueling it. What's the gas in the tank? And according to the book, the fuel is a deeply, deeply ingrained internal belief system.
Think of this belief system like a warped pair of glasses that distorts everything the addict sees. It's built on these core ideas, like I am fundamentally unlovable, or no one is ever going to really be there for me. And when you believe that deep down, well, real intimacy feels impossible, and being isolated feels like the only safe option. It creates the perfect breeding ground for a secret addiction to feel like a solution.
So those core beliefs then give birth to what the book calls impaired thinking. Basically, these are the rationalizations, the little lies that sound perfectly logical inside the addict's head. Their only job is to build a wall between the addict and the reality of what they're doing, just to make sure that the cycle can keep on turning.
And here's the paradox, which is so crucial. The addict who swears they're going to quit, they are being sincere. But the addict who uses a rationalization like, I deserve this, they are also being sincere in that moment. It's this wild state of sincere delusion, where the absolute commitment to stop can exist right alongside the lies that allow the behavior to continue.
Okay, so we've got the internal system down, the beliefs and the cycle. Now let's take a look at how that whole system actually shows up on the outside. The book maps out this whole spectrum of behaviors, and it organizes them into a 3-level framework that really helps make sense of it all.
So Dr. Carnes organizes these behaviors into 3 levels. Now, it's really important to see this not as a guaranteed progression, like you're climbing a ladder. It's more of a way to sort behaviors based on how socially acceptable they are and the impact they have. So level 1 includes stuff our culture might even see as normal, or at least tolerable. But level 3, well, that includes acts that are universally seen as just abhorrent.
This chart gives us even more detail, but I want you to focus on that final column, victim.
It's pretty easy to see the victim in levels 2 and 3, right? But here's the book's crucial insight. That idea of a victimless level 1 is a total myth. There's very often hidden exploitation, and there's always damage being done to the addict's own life, to their family, and to their relationships.
And let's be absolutely clear, this addiction shatters every single stereotype. This is not a lower-class problem. It's not a male-only issue. The book is filled with case studies of doctors, religious leaders, men and women from every single walk of life. This system can operate in any demographic, behind any facade.
Okay, so we've mapped this whole complex internal world of cycles, beliefs, and behaviors. What's the single most important thing to take away from all of this?
Here it is. The book's central argument is that we have to shift our perspective. We have to stop seeing addiction as just a series of isolated bad choices and start seeing it as an entire interdependent system. And inside that system, the compulsive behavior, no matter how destructive it looks, is actually a tragically logical symptom of all the underlying beliefs and pain.
And that brings us to a final and really crucial question. If addiction truly is a predictable, repeating system, then does recovery begin not with more willpower, but with something else entirely? Could it be that the first and most powerful step is simply to drag the hidden patterns of this entire system out of the shadows and into the light?